Well, hello world. My name is Hava. For those of you who don't know me, I am finally going public with my life story. I've kept myself out of the public's eye for quite a while now. Most of my work that I did publicly, radio, TV, was with my mentor, my sister, my other mother, Lisa Nichols. And also with CEO Space and a few other different programs where I really allowed myself to come forward and run teen programs. A lot of people know me from working with youth across the nation. Part of the reason that I'm finally going public is because I'm finally open to talking about some deep stuff that has been a very difficult process for me to actually get up and share. And so I feel the best thing that I could do is start answering some questions that a lot of you have shared over the years, and where there's also a lot of concern. And so one of the questions that I'm going to start with is what happened? Why are you in so much pain? Like, what's your story? So I'm going to start with that story. The best way that I can start this is to share that I was twice rear-ended, and I was also in 180-mile-per-hour impact head-on collision. A lot of times people hear that and say, were you both going 90? No, not at all. But I will explain how that happened and how that occurred. And if there are more questions that you guys have after this, by all means, please share the questions on Facebook, and I will get back to you with them as soon as I can. As for now, I'm going to just stick to the basics. So the first car accident that I had was in the beginning of 2000. I was rear-ended at a stoplight. There was a 80-year-old man that was in a pickup truck that didn't see that we were stopped and just rear-ended me. I had whiplash, and I stopped working for a little bit so I could focus solely on physical therapy, massage therapy, holistic medicines more than anything. Did my best to just make sure that I was taking care of myself, and I felt good. Went back to work part-time, loved my job at BRG Research in Provo, Utah. Absolutely loved it. I was scheduled to go back to work full-time. Doctors declared me 100% better, and I was. It was, whiplash can be painful, but when you take care of it and work through it, it's fine. And so, on paper, doctors declared you're better, you can go back to work full-time on Monday, and I was so excited, and I was on a date 2 days prior to this, and this is now in September of 2000, 8 months later from my first car accident. I was turning, it was my boyfriend at the time that was turning left at a light, and it was yellow turning red. As we were turning left, it was nighttime, and all I could see was this enormous van, headlights, coming full speed ahead as we were turning left. I was the passenger in my car, and so being in the passenger seat as we were turning left, what happened is there was a young man with a carpeting business, a family carpeting business, I believe it was, that had a van and a trailer. The cargo was filled with carpets, like rolled carpets and carpeting machinery. So going 60 miles per hour, as I understand the story, he gunned it at the light because he had too much weight, and it was just over from there. The car got hit. Because we were turning left and I was the passenger, I got most of the impact, if you will. They rated it 180 miles per hour on the police report, so I don't know the whole math of that and how that all works, but all I can tell you is that the car, if you see it, it was a Suzuki Esteem tin can car, and it was just, the police, as they put it, was like, there was just no way that there was any survivors from this car accident. My car spun around 3 times, as I was told. I had blacked out. I woke up, I came to, and my boyfriend at the time was just, Hava, we gotta get out, And I can hear his shock, I can hear the despair, I can hear so much, and I began to panic because I could not breathe at all. And I didn't know how to tell him I can't breathe, like stop yelling at me and I can't breathe, and I'm smelling this nasty stench of metal that has been ground and the metallic blood and all this, just everything at once kind of thing. And the panic didn't last very long. It turned into a very peaceful experience. I felt a very light, bright, a very bright light that I can only describe as peaceful, and beautiful. My whole life I had this death wish. I just wanted to die. I had a lot of abuse growing up, and I had finally, been going through different things in my life where I got my life better, but this death wish that I had, in that moment where that bright light just came through and seared through my whole soul, my life flashed before my eyes in a way that is only experiential. No words can do it justice. I think it's fair to say that it took me to the brink of death for me to know that I wanted to live more than ever before. But it wasn't just a decision that I felt immediately. It was this process that happened as I was feeling this peace. I saw that in my life that I would be in enormous amounts of pain forever. That wasn't clear, but I knew that it was going to be a part of my life. I could see that I would have a family one day. I could see that if I was going to live, that I needed to forgive a lot of people in my life. And most people say that when they are taken to the other side, that their mission wasn't over yet, and the Lord saved them for a purpose. But what I can honestly say with every fiber of my being is that I was given a choice that day, whether I wanted to go home or whether I wanted to stay and live. It felt like an eternity, but it also felt like just a split second that this all happened. Who knows the length of the time. I chose life, and I started to fight for this breath. Did my lungs collapse? Like, still to this day, there are a lot of things that are not really explained, and the doctors don't know how a lot happened. I came out of this particular car accident with only 3 stitches on the back of my head. My watch was broken. My necklace, jade tiki that I got from New Zealand with all my family, was broken. My pager at the time, yes, pager, was broken, except for me. I remember taking my foot that was smashed out and wiggling my toes. I'm like, okay, that's miraculous. I had no idea how bad it was. I had no idea how badly we were hit. I just felt the impact. Anytime that I would think about it, I just felt that impact. And this is, again, Jaws of Life came 2.5 hours to cut me out of the car, so the impact played through my mind a lot. As did the peace, as did the understanding that as I began to fight for that breath, there was zero paranoia, there was zero sense of despair. I just knew it was just a matter of time that I would get it. It was like the opposite of labor. I'm like, really? That is being generous in what you just heard, in how it really came to be before I finally was gasping for air. When they finally took me out and they said that it was a miracle that I didn't have any broken bones or any, I wasn't paralyzed, and so many things could have happened from that car accident, and I'm very aware of that. One thing that is the everlasting effects is everything is internal. My spine from that day forward has been straight where it shouldn't be, crooked where it shouldn't be. There's now degenerative disease in the neck that they can see. There's a arthritic bulge in C4, and then I also have discs that are bulging or there are herniation. 3 discs that are herniated. So, and that's just in my cervical, in my neck, and there's a lot of problems in my thoracic as well. But that day changed my life forever. You can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And for a very long time, I felt, oh my gosh, like the pain is enough every day. I mean, it's day in and day out. A lot of people, this is why I love being a life coach, because I can help people go and break through their problems. These problems that we go through day in and day out, from addiction to the second questioning ourselves, the insecurities, and all the different things that come up as a life coach and working with marriages or teens and young adults, doesn't matter the age. You know, problems are fixable. But this accident caused something within me that this pain was irreversible. And it was something that no amount of physical therapy, trigger point, acupuncture, all these different injections and things like that I have gone through for 15 years now, just, you know, really has been a fight for survival, a fight to just move on. I had to find a reason to live, which truly was being a life coach and a motivational speaker. So I hid, for the most part, what this car accident had done to me. Everything was internally damaged, inflammation, scar tissue, things that you cannot pick up on scans, finding doctors that fit, going through all kinds of medications to, you know, you're really like, to get rid of the pain, you're willing to take snake venom if somebody says, this is going to cure you, you're going to take it. And, you know, I can honestly say, I really have put myself out there to find a way to deal with this pain. So I did start getting a little bit better, and I'll come to a wrap and a close up on this story, because I think that I don't want to go too deep into the details of it, other than to really share that this is the devastation and what it has caused. I might not have had broken bones, might not be paralyzed, but without a doubt, I kind of wish that I would have had broken bones, comparatively speaking, to the injuries in my spine. Last thing that I can say about this to help understand the pain a little bit more, that was not the last car accident I was in. 3 years later, I went to school to become a nail technician, and really just, you know, fighting through the pain and finding a way to find myself. I tucked myself away in this little town called Price, Utah, and went to the college there, and just wanted to escape even from what I felt like. I felt like I was living a lie as I was getting up and teaching teenagers and doing all these different things. And all I can tell you is that I was working on finding myself, and it was feeling really good, and I had a good team down there working with my body. I was about to go to a concert. I was on my way up with a couple of basketball players from the college, as well as my sister was in the car, and she and I shared a friend, Hernando, that was also with us. As we were going up through Salt Lake City, we were all coming to a stop on the freeway, and I saw that to the right everybody's, you know, stopped. And behind me I see yet another big white van, except for this time it was daytime, not nighttime. And I see that they do not see that we're slowing down at all. I look to my left and I see that there's one car going, and I knew that if I went too soon I would crash into them. But the moment that I could, I turned the wheel, hit the pedal to the metal, and tried to speed up to get out of the way. This white van, it was somebody who was drunk and slammed my car behind, rear-ended me and slammed us 2 lanes over into the cement wall. I'm becoming a little bit emotional in telling the story right now, because it was devastation of not again. This is re-injuring already, like, major injuries that are happening within my body, and I already have such a high level of pain. No more. And at that time I was probably pain levels of 3, 4, and 5 at the worst. It without a doubt brought it up to pain levels of 6 and 7 being the worst. And throughout time and having different hits on my body and having children, giving birth to two beautiful children. One pregnancy was very difficult where my spine would just clunk out and I would fall, and 6 different times throughout that pregnancy where it was very difficult. What I can say about this is that it caused a lot of pain where I'm like, okay, who gets in 3 flipping car accidents in a lifetime? Like, really? Come on, like, God, what is it that's going on? And at first I became very, very angry at him, at the Lord. Like, extraordinarily angry. I felt a sense of betrayal, a sense of like, why is this happening to me? Why is it that I have to live a life filled with pain? And all I can say is that over the years now to where I am today, that rear-ending experience, car accident, happened in 2003. So it was 3 years later. I finished my state boards, my nail tech class in a neck brace kind of thing. And so it was just like, I'm not letting this stop me. And that was the day that there was just this drive, yes, pun intended. There was this drive in me to push forward and not let this pain take me under. Not hide away, tucked away in Price, Utah at this college and be a nail technician. I got on my knees and I did not get up until I truly found what it was that I was to live for. And I knew with every fiber of my being that I was the most pain-free when I allowed myself to serve others. And the best way that I knew how to do that is to take my life experiences of hardship and being homeless at age 12 and all the different, the hanging out with gangs, drugs, lockup, all the different things that I went through, to pass on knowledge, support, compassion to teenagers and young adults that wanted to learn how to love themselves better, how to grow a business, how to find self-confidence and live in it, how to deal with their problems, process emotions properly. And when you work with teenagers, you genuinely get to work with the families as well. And so I have had the blessing now of about 13 years worth of being able to be in the most pain relieving experiences, in the sense that when I'm teaching, whether it's one person, 7, 70, or 700 people, or if I'm in front of a camera and I'm doing my work and I'm focused, I'm not focused on the pain. I am absolutely in physical therapy, massage therapy, acupuncture, trigger point injections. To this day, there are definitely certain things that have happened in the stories that I'll share soon in the next video, but not right now, that my pain levels are really, really high. And thus, the reach out to the world to let you all know that these are the reasons that started the pain. There are many things that have contributed to it, but I will say this: I am not my pain. I have learned that this is something that I get to face every day, and now it's time to do something about it, since it does not get to drain our resources. It does not take away from my spirit. If anything, I get to humble myself to the Lord and to others around me, and stand in a place of forgiveness, compassion, and love. To stand in a place where I can put value towards other people's lives. And right now I get to start that by putting it towards my own. For the first time, I'm finally willing to not just share myself and the pain, but all the good that makes me who I am. So that is the nutshell versions of how my pain started. And just thank you for following these stories. And any questions that you may have, let us know. Please subscribe. Hit the button down here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying that because everybody else does. Love ya.